You clicked on this video for one reason. You're tired. Deeply existentially tired. Tired of the losses that chip away not just at your trading account, but at your confidence, your peace of mind. Tired of the endless parade of false promises, the get-rich-quick schemes peddled by self-proclaimed gurus who flash rented Lamborghinis and sell dreams packaged as foolproof systems. Most of all, you're tired of asking yourself that same gut-wrenching question, a question that probably echoes in your mind late at night, staring at the ceiling after another bruising day in the markets. How long? How long until I stop this relentless bleeding of money, watching my hard-earned capital evaporate into the digital ether? How long until I can finally string together a series of consistent profits? Not just a lucky win here and there that gets wiped out the next day. How long until I can genuinely, authentically look myself in the mirror and say, I am a real trader, not a gambler, not a hopeful amateur, but a professional who navigates these treacherous waters with skill and composure. Let me be brutally, uncomfortably honest with you. Something most gurus out there, the ones with the slick marketing and the easy answers, will never tell you, because the truth doesn't sell as well as fantasy. If you're looking for a magic number, a neat, tidy answer like 6 months or 1 year, if you're searching for a 30-day fix, a secret indicator, or some mythical shortcut to effortless riches, then this video, this channel, frankly, isn't for you. You might as well close it now and go back to chasing those illusions, because illusions are all they are. But if you're ready for the unvarnished truth, the raw, unfiltered reality of what it actually takes to build lasting, sustainable success in the world of trading, a world that chews up and spits out the unprepared and the impatient, then stay. Stay and listen closely, because what I'm about to share isn't just information. It's a reflection of a journey paved with scars, with costly mistakes, with moments of profound doubt, but ultimately a journey that leads to understanding. This could be the most important, the most pivotal wake-up call of your entire trading career. I'm your name if you use it, or just launch into the channel name from Mind of a Trader. And this isn't just another trading lesson filled with charts and technical jargon you'll forget by tomorrow. This is a deep dive and exploration into the very heart, the very soul of what it means to persevere, to endure, and ultimately to conquer not just the chaotic and unpredictable markets, but something far more formidable: yourself, your own ingrained habits, your fears, your greed, your ego. That is the real battlefield. Remember that first intoxicating spark, that electric jolt of pure, unadulterated excitement when you first stepped into the trading arena. It felt like discovering a secret world, didn't it? You saw the charts, those dancing lines and flickering candles, and they seemed to hold the key to a new life. You heard the stories, maybe from a friend, or an ad stories of people making fortunes seemingly overnight from their laptops in their pajamas. This is it. You probably thought a wave of euphoria washing over you. This is my ticket to financial freedom, to a life without bosses, without limits. You probably devoured a few books, maybe Trading in the Zone or some classic on technical analysis. You binged dozens, if not hundreds, of YouTube videos, each one promising guaranteed profit strategies, can't lose indicators. You felt a surge of confidence, perhaps even a touch of invincibility. You opened that first trading account, funded it with money that likely represented significant sacrifice, and you placed those first few trades. Maybe you even got lucky. A quick win here, a profitable scalp there. Oh, that dopamine hit was real, wasn't it? Addictive even. You thought with a dangerous naivety, this is actually easier than I expected. I've got a knack for this. But then, reality, like a freight train in the dark, slammed the door violently in your face. It always does. The market, that faceless, emotionless, utterly indifferent beast, began to show its true, unforgiving colors. Suddenly, all those abstract terms you skimmed over, stop-loss, risk management, position sizing, overtrading, they weren't just theoretical jargon anymore, were they? No, they transformed into the very real, very painful ghosts, haunting your rapidly dwindling account balance. Each red number on your screen felt like a personal indictment. Have you ever stared at your monitor, your heart pounding in your chest, watching a position move catastrophically against you, your stomach churning with a toxic cocktail of fear and regret, frozen, utterly paralyzed, unable to click that close button even though every rational part of your brain, your own meticulously crafted trading rules, screamed at you, pleaded with you to get out to staunch the bleeding? That, my friend, is the market delivering its first brutal, unforgettable lesson. Hope is not a strategy. Hope is a liability. I remember a guy, let's call him John, a bright, articulate engineer from Texas. He was smart, analytical, successful in his field. He jumped into trading with $10,000, full of that classic beginner's optimism, convinced his intellect would give him an edge. He found a stock he believed in, read some positive news articles on one particular trade, an oil stock, if I recall. It started to move against him. His stop loss was hit a small, manageable loss, according to his plan, but he canceled it. Why? Because he felt it would turn around. He felt the market was wrong. He was smarter than the market. That trade didn't turn around. It cratered. He kept averaging down, convinced he was getting a bargain, throwing good money after bad. He lost half his account in 2 agonizing days. That feeling he had, that wasn't insight. That was pure, unadulterated ego and emotional attachment to being right. He learned the excruciatingly hard way that the market has absolutely zero interest in your feelings, your hopes, or your IQ. It just is. And what typically happens after those initial soul-crushing losses, for far too many aspiring traders, it's the beginning of a terrifying descent into the trader's abyss, a dark, lonely place fueled by desperation and irrationality. The panic sets in a cold dread that clouds all judgment. You start revenge trading, a reckless, futile attempt to win back what you lost, making bigger, wilder, riskier bets, as if you could somehow strong-arm the market into giving you your money back. You abandon your meticulously crafted trading plan, if you ever truly had one that you respected. Discipline evaporates like morning mist. You find yourself jumping erratically from one strategy to another, from one indicator to the next, desperately searching for that elusive holy grail, that perfect system that never loses. One week it's MACD, the next it's Ichimoku clouds, then it's some obscure Fibonacci sequence you found on a forum. Sound familiar? That gnawing feeling that the next system will be the one you tell yourself. Just one more trade, I need to get it back. If I can just hit one big winner, I'll be whole again. But each impulsive, emotionally charged decision, each deviation from sound principles, only digs you deeper into that treacherous hole. Think about it. It's like a gambler at the casino down on his luck chasing losses, convinced the next spin of the roulette wheel will be his salvation. He's no longer playing with strategy. He's playing with raw, desperate emotion. That's precisely what happens to so many traders. They become gamblers, not traders. Let me ask you this, and I want you to be truly, unflinchingly honest with yourself. In the quiet of your own mind, have you ever blown up a trading account or come dangerously, terrifyingly close? Have you felt that sickening, gut-wrenching knot in your stomach, that overwhelming wave of shame, that crushing feeling of being a complete and utter failure, that feeling that makes you want to just walk away and never look at a chart again? Understand this. That's not the market defeating you. That's you defeating yourself. That's your own lack of discipline, your own emotional reactivity, your own ego leading you to slaughter. I recall Sarah, a single mom from California, working 2 jobs trying to build a better future for her kids. She was drawn to the allure of crypto, the stories of meteoric rises. After a string of initial losses, small ones, she started to panic. She began doubling down on volatile low-cap coins, convinced she could predict the next big pump. She ignored every risk protocol she'd ever read about. Stop losses too restrictive. Position sizing, what's that? She ended up losing the money she'd painstakingly saved for her eldest child's college fund. The guilt, she told me later, was a physical weight almost unbearable. Why did this happen to such a well-intentioned person? Because emotion, specifically a potent cocktail of greed to get rich quick and fear of missing out, completely hijacked her decision-making faculties. She was no longer trading. She was gambling on hope. This is the critical juncture, the precipice where most people quit. They throw in the towel. And who do they blame? They blame the market, calling it rigged. They blame their broker for stop hunting. They blame bad luck or that analyst on TV who gave a bad call. But they rarely, if ever, turn that finger of blame inward. They rarely look in the mirror and take radical responsibility for their own actions and decisions. And that, my friends, that avoidance of self-reflection is the single most critical mistake, the one that guarantees they will never find success. If any part of this painful narrative is hitting home for you, if you've felt that sting of heavy loss, that icy grip of desperation, that chaotic storm of emotions, do me a small favor and hit that like button right now. Let the YouTube algorithm know that real, honest, unvarnished talk about the struggles of trading actually matters. And more importantly, by liking, you're sending a silent signal to other traders out there who are feeling the same pain, letting them know they are not alone in this incredibly challenging endeavor. And I genuinely want to hear from you. This is important. What's the one biggest, most impactful mistake you feel you've made so far in your trading journey? The one that if you could go back in time, you would scream at your past self to avoid. Don't be shy. Drop it in the comments below. Your honesty, your willingness to share your hard-won lesson could be the very wake-up call, the crucial insight that someone else in this community desperately needs to hear right now to avoid the same pitfall. This channel, Mind of a Trader, is designed to be a community, a fellowship of serious traders. We learn from each other, we support each other, and we grow together. Your experience matters. So how do you break this destructive cycle? How do you begin the arduous climb out of that dark abyss of losses and self-recrimination? It begins with a painful yet ultimately liberating realization, a paradigm shift. It's the understanding that failure is not the end. It's feedback. It's data. Crucially, it's tuition paid directly to the market. Every loss, if you approach it correctly, contains a priceless lesson. The question isn't if you'll fail. You will. Let me repeat that you will fail multiple times, probably in ways you can't even imagine yet. That's a non-negotiable part of this journey. The real and far more important question is, what will you learn from it? Are you going to let those losses define you, to brand you as a failure, to crush your spirit and force you to quit? Or will you summon the courage to dissect them, to analyze them with brutal objectivity, to understand the why behind each losing trade, and then use those painful lessons as stepping stones, as rungs on the ladder to improvement? This is where the entire concept of how long begins to shift. It ceases to be merely about the passage of time, weeks, months, years. Instead, it becomes about the intensity and quality of lessons integrated. It's about swallowing your ego, that stubborn part of you that wants to always be right. It's about admitting your weaknesses, your knowledge gaps, your emotional triggers without judgment, but with a commitment to address them. And it's about committing, truly committing to the painstaking, unglamorous day in, day out process of self-improvement and skill development. You start to understand deep in your bones that successful trading isn't about having a crystal ball or predicting the future with unerring accuracy. Nobody can do that. It's about managing probabilities over a large series of trades. It's about the flawless, consistent, disciplined execution of a well-defined, statistically tested trading strategy, your edge. And perhaps most critically, it's about achieving and maintaining emotional discipline. This means developing the ability to remain calm, objective, and rational when everyone else in the market is panicking or overcome with euphoria. It means having the strength of character to stick to your rules, your plan, even when temptation or fear or greed screams at you with all its might to break them. Think about professional athletes for a moment. Do they become champions, legends in their sport overnight? Of course not. They endure years, often decades of grueling, relentless practice. They face countless setbacks, demoralizing losses, painful injuries. They study their opponents meticulously. They analyze their own performance with an almost obsessive attention to detail, looking for tiny areas of improvement. They refine their technique, their strategy, their mental game relentlessly day after day. Trading is absolutely no different. Michael Jordan didn't win 6 NBA championships by just winging it or relying on raw talent alone. He had a plan, he practiced relentlessly, he was ferociously disciplined, especially under immense pressure. He learned from every missed shot, every lost game. That's the mindset. You'll come to realize, perhaps slowly at first then, with increasing clarity, that the most important, the most challenging battle in trading isn't fought against the charts, the algorithms, or other market participants. It's fought in the 6 inches of space between your ears. That is the true arena. Can you conquer your fear, the fear of loss, the fear of missing out, the fear of being wrong? Can you master your greed, that insidious desire for more, faster, bigger, which so often leads to reckless decisions? Can you cultivate patience, the ability to wait for the optimal conditions, even if it means doing nothing for extended periods? Can you subordinate your ego, that part of you that craves validation and hates to admit mistakes? This internal struggle, this is the crucible where true resilient traders are forged. It's a trial by fire, and not everyone makes it through. So what's the one virtue, the one overarching characteristic that underpins all sustainable long-term trading success? It's not off-the-charts genius. It's not access to some secret proprietary indicator. It's something far less glamorous, far more fundamental. It's patience. Profound, unwavering, almost stoic patience. Patience to wait and wait and wait. Some more for the A-plus setups, the ones that align perfectly with your meticulously defined trading plan. Not the B or C-plus ones that whisper temptingly, maybe this one will work out. Patience to let your winning trades run, to capture those larger moves, resisting the urge to snatch small profits prematurely out of fear. And concurrently, the steely discipline to cut your losers short decisively, without hesitation or second-guessing, the moment your predefined stop-loss is hit, or the trade invalidates itself. Patience to stick to your trading plan with unwavering fidelity, even when, and this is crucial, even when it means doing absolutely nothing for days, sometimes even weeks, if the market isn't offering you your specific edge. Let me tell you from experience, sitting on your hands, consciously choosing not to trade when your rules aren't met can be the hardest trade of all to make. Your mind will play tricks on you. Boredom will set in. The fear of missing out will gnaw at you. But often that decision to do nothing to preserve your capital and your mental energy is the most profitable decision you can make. The market will constantly try to lure you in with false signals, with chaotic chop, with distracting noise. Your impatient mind, your ego will scream, "Do something, you have to be in the game to win." But the seasoned trader, the professional, the one who truly understands the nature of this game, knows that capital preservation is paramount. Job number one is not to make money. Job number one is to protect what you have. They wait. They stalk their preferred setups like a patient sniper, motionless, observing, waiting for all conditions to align perfectly. They don't just spray bullets wildly, hoping to hit something. They wait for the high probability shot. They understand that trading is not about constant action. It's about precise, opportune action. This stage of development is all about building a robust, inviolable process, a system, a detailed checklist for every single trade, a set of non-negotiable rules that govern your entries, your exits, your risk management. It's about treating your trading with the seriousness and professionalism of a business, not with the casual recklessness of a weekend trip to Las Vegas. Ask yourself, do you have a written, detailed trading plan that covers every aspect of your trading? Do you review your trades religiously, every single day, win or lose, analyzing what you did right, what you did wrong, and why? Do you know your statistical edge? Do you track your metrics like a hawk? If the answer to any of these questions is no or sort of, then you're still operating in the realm of gambling. You're still relying on hope, on luck, on gut feelings. And let me be crystal clear, hope will bankrupt you in this game. Luck runs out. Gut feelings are notoriously unreliable when money and emotions are involved. You need to evolve. You need to transform from an amateur speculator into a professional risk manager. If you don't, the market in its infinite indifference will remove you. It's as simple and as brutal as that. So after all this, we come back to that burning central question: how long? How long does it truly take to become a consistently profitable trader? Based on my own journey and observing countless others, for most people who are truly dedicated, who put in the focused, intelligent effort, it's typically in the range of 3 to 5 years. 3 to 5 years of relentless study of painful lessons, learned of continuous self-assessment and adaptation, to even begin to see consistent, sustainable profitability. For some, blessed with exceptional discipline or finding the right mentorship early, it might be a little shorter. For many, it's longer. And for the vast majority, sadly, it's never. They wash out long before they reach that point, broken by losses or simply unwilling to do the hard internal work required. Why does it take so long? What are you actually doing during those years? You're not just learning a new skill, like learning to ride a bicycle or play the piano. You are fundamentally rewiring your brain. You are battling and overcoming deep-seated psychological biases that have been ingrained in you since childhood. Biases around loss aversion, confirmation bias, the herd mentality. You are forging ironclad discipline out of the raw material of your often chaotic emotions. That kind of profound personal transformation doesn't happen in a few weeks or a few months by reading a book or watching a course. It happens through lived experience, through repeated exposure to the pressures of the market, and through conscious, deliberate effort to change your ingrained responses. It's the cumulative time it takes for you to experience enough different market cycles, bull markets, bear markets, volatile sideways grinds. It's the time it takes to make enough mistakes, a vast catalog of them, and crucially to extract the wisdom from each one, integrating those lessons so deeply that they become second nature. It's the time it takes to build an unshakable data-driven belief in your statistical edge so you can execute your plan even when you're in a drawdown. And it's the time it takes to achieve a significant degree of mastery over your own emotional landscape. There are no shortcuts. There are no magic bullets. Anyone who tells you otherwise is selling you a fantasy, likely for their own profit. But here's the empowering part of this equation. The specific timeline, whether it's 3 years or 7 years or more, is largely up to you. Your level of dedication, your commitment to daily improvement, your willingness to embrace discomfort and learn from painful feedback, your resilience in the face of inevitable adversity. These are the accelerators. These are the factors that can shorten the learning curve. Conversely, your ego, your stubbornness, your impatience, your tendency to blame external factors, your refusal to adapt and evolve, these are the brakes. These are the things that will stretch out your learning curve indefinitely or derail you completely. Becoming a consistently profitable trader isn't a final destination you arrive at, plant a flag, and then coast for the rest of your career. It's not like graduating from college. It's an ongoing, dynamic process of learning, adapting, refining, and growing. The market is a living, breathing entity. It's constantly evolving, constantly changing its character and behavior. And so must you if you wish to remain successful. It's a lifelong journey of mastery, a continuous pursuit of excellence. The learning never ever stops. If this raw, honest, perhaps even uncomfortable conversation has resonated with you on a deep level, if you're nodding along because you've lived some of these struggles, and if you're truly committed to walking this challenging but ultimately rewarding path, then I personally invite you to subscribe to Mind of a Trader. We're not about hype here. We don't sell dreams. We're about real strategies, real psychology, real risk management, and genuine actionable support for your trading journey. We're about the hard truths that forge real traders. This isn't just my channel. It's intended to be our community, a place where serious, dedicated individuals can navigate these challenging markets together, sharing insights, experiences, and encouragement. Go ahead and hit that notification bell as well, so you don't miss our next deep dive where we'll be breaking down. Mention a specific valuable topic for your next video. For example, the critical psychological framework for handling losing streaks without losing your mind, or how to build a professional-grade trading plan from scratch step by step. The road to trading mastery is undeniably long. It's arduous. It will test you to your absolute core, exposing every weakness, every insecurity. But for those who endure, for those who possess the grit and determination to refuse to give up on themselves and their goals, the rewards. And I'm not just talking about financial rewards, which can be substantial, but the personal growth, the resilience forged in fire, the discipline that bleeds over into other areas of your life, the profound sense of self-mastery, and ultimately the freedom. These rewards are immeasurable. They are life-changing. So how long? In the end, it takes as long as it takes for you to become the trader you need to be, to develop the skills, the mindset, the emotional fortitude required to consistently extract profits from the market. Start that transformation today. Take one small step. And always remember, as you walk this often solitary path, you are not alone. We at Mind of a Trader are here with you.